thank you very much for having me here today. Again, my name's Gladys Kyotungire. I'll just put it out there. I'm due in 4 days, so let's hope the baby doesn't come now. I double-checked and they said the baby's not coming, unless there's midwives that want to help me. But I would like for you to watch this short clip before I start. So it has the backbone of everything that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about my work with the United Nations World Food Programme in particular, and then the End Child Sacrifice campaign that I've been doing ever since I graduated. Please enjoy.
I mean, you're not going to see that, but anyway. Is that better?
I've got a question about your research.
Miriam Adeke has just been honoured for her groundbreaking medical research. Her discoveries could save up to 1 million lives every year.
Thank you.
Over here, please. This discovery will save lives.
But there is no discovery.
Qu'est-ce que cela signifie pour vous?
There is no breakthrough. I did not go to medical school. I did not get an education. I died of hunger.
At the age of 8.
That was me 2 years ago. I looked much younger. I wasn't pregnant as well. So that is me acting as Miriam. Miriam is supposed to be a medical researcher who is celebrated all over the world. Now we have the coronavirus going on. Imagine there's going to be somebody that will find the cure for it. We're going to have scientists that will eventually crack the code for the virus, like many other diseases that we found cures to. So Miriam is one of those people that is supposed to have found a cure for this disease that had been disturbing the world and should been celebrated, as you saw in the ad. This is a global cinema ad that was aired by World Food Programme all over the world, and they were making emphasis of lost potential every time a child dies of hunger. I cry when I watch it myself because it's very true. Miriam could have been me. I feel that the reason I got drawn to the campaign, I have a day job. I work in IT. I finished school, graduated, and obviously I had to find a job, find work, and kind of the natural route is to get a career and progress. But then I had, while all of that was going on, in the mix of finding a career and stuff, I contested for Miss Uganda UK in 2012, and I won it. And I thought, what can I use this platform for? And there was one side that said, oh, young girls need to believe in themselves, so maybe this is a platform for me to inspire them and all of that. But then there was another side of, what am I really passionate about? What difference do I want to make in the world? At the time when I came to the UK in 2007, the story of Madeleine McCain was going on. I don't know if any of you remember it or know it. Madeleine McCain is a girl who got lost when she was 4 while on holiday with her parents. That same story is my story. I got lost at the age of 4 with my nanny. But I was lost for 3 days, eventually found with the help of a stranger. So when I heard Madeleine McCain's story, I hoped every day that she would be found. She's going to be found. I was found. Definitely, she would be found. She can't be missing. There's so much, she can't be missing forever because of the publicity that's going on around the world about her. She will be found. And it's been almost 13, 14 years now. She's never been found. That made me remember and realize that I was a lucky one. And I was not lucky because maybe the government did something or put something in place for me, but because a stranger saw a child in distress and decided to find out, why is this child in distress? I remember while I was with my nanny, my mom said to me, we had her for 3 days, we had lived with her for 3 days, and I was that kind of girl. I don't know if there's a childhood picture of mine. I was the kind of girl who was up to anything. If you said bungee jumping, I would go. If it was, I think that's That shows you the age roughly that I got lost. I was 4 to 5 then, but that was around the same age. So my mom said to me, oh, we call nannies aunties in Uganda. Auntie. So she said, oh, show her where the corner shop is. It's just outside the compound. So I took her out and we didn't come back. So we went at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we're not back. 5 o'clock she goes to the shop. Have you seen this girl? And a woman from our get into the shops, they're like, no, we haven't seen her. She walks a bit farther. Have you seen a girl? Now it's just like walking into a bigger street now. You're asking strangers who are just walking on the street as well. Have you seen a woman and a girl? There's many women and a girl going on, and maybe not. We haven't seen her. And then as she went on asking, they started saying to her, oh, I saw a woman and a girl going that side. And then she would find another person, describe me and everything, and then they would say, oh, I saw them going the opposite direction. This is when she went back home and told my dad, I think Gladys is missing. Back then, it was, I think, I hadn't started school, so don't judge my age, but it was about 1994, I think, or 1993, I can't remember, because I started year 1 in 1994. So there was no live TV. TV would start at 6 a.m. and end at 6 p.m. So the time I got lost, they had to wait another 12 hours before they could go to a radio station or a TV station to basically announce a missing child. And at this time, I'm going farther and farther with my aunt, the one I called auntie. So we were going, I started asking her, when are we going home? And she said, we'll get home when we get home. And then I started crying. And then I remember she knocked on someone's door and said, oh, we're coming from the village and we don't have enough transport. Could we lodge here for the night? And I remember that we slept in someone's open living room, and very early in the morning before they woke up, we went off again. So at this point, we're walking for 3 days. I'm not exactly eating well, and I'm starting to ask for my mom. I want mom. And then she kind of wanted me to call her my mom. So she stopped at a shop where she wanted to get me water to drink, and that's when my crying escalated, because I saw some people sitting there. And a man asked me, are you okay? At the age of 4, I said, can you take me to mommy? And I think that broke the deal for her. And the man asked her, do you know the girl? And she said, yeah, I know the girl, I'm taking her home. I said to the man, she's been saying she's taking me home. Please take me to mommy. And they said, what's your mom's name? I only knew one name, Pauline. And they said, what's your dad's name? I don't remember if I knew my dad's name. I knew he was called Daddy. And what the man did, he decided to take us to kind of a local police, and I was there with the local police for some days before they could locate who my parents are, because at this time we were very far from home in a different kind of town. But luckily for me, I got found. So when the story of Madeleine McCain came to my mind, I was processing all those things. So people were judging my parents already because both of them were home, trusted me with a stranger who took me away. So I think there was judgment already. How could you let your 4-year-old daughter go out with a stranger? This is a person I'm planning to leave my kids with when I go to work. So I might as well trust them for a few minutes to go to the corner shop and come back. So while I felt the judgment that they were getting as parents, I could relate because they thought, we're in a secure hotel, children are sleeping, we can go and have a drink. If you haven't seen the documentary, maybe you would want to look at it on Netflix. But I empathized with them and I've followed their story since. So when I became Miss Uganda UK, I thought, when I was the age of 4, children were missing at around that time, but there was not enough awareness among the children. Parents knew about it, the children get abducted and they get sold for maybe sex slavery or get sold to other families, whatever it is that they sell children for. This is something that has always happened over the years, but children are not part of the conversation. And how are children going to protect themselves? Parents can only protect themselves, can only protect their children to an extent. But when children are alone, they make a lot of decisions. I could have said, no, I'm not going any farther and ran back home when I was 4. But I thought I was safe with this person that I know. Like Sarah said, a lot of times people that are going to maybe harm the children are people that they know, people that they're comfortable with. So I decided I was going to go back to Uganda and aim to reach children between the age of 4 to 13 who are in primary schools, who do not know who do not know anything about missing children. When a child gets missing, we put it in the newspapers, but how many primary school children pick up a newspaper and read it to know about what is happening? No one knows. So the parents know, the teachers know, it's a conversation among adults, but it's affecting the people below. So I thought, let me have a conversation with the people below. Let's understand what they know about missing children. In Uganda, when a child's missing these days, it's because of human sacrificing. And it is possible that I was being trafficked to be sacrificed. Now, child sacrifice is a topic that made me realize that I could have been lost potential had I not been found and given a chance to live. I am happy with what I've done with my life. I'm happy with the decisions I've made. I've gone to study the course I want. I've gone on to live the life I desire. But for a lot of children, for some children, especially the ones that I know in Uganda, or even around the world, Madeleine McCain has been denied her right to live with her family, to grow up in a family, and to experience what she could have experienced had she had a normal life. So I thought, if I had a chance, if a stranger intervened for me to have this chance, I'm going to be the stranger for another girl, for another boy out there. So that's what drew me to the campaign that the World Food Programme is doing. I just saw an ad online and I thought, it's talking about lost potential, and everything I'm doing right now is about saving children's lives so that they can fulfill and realize their full potential. So I'm going to apply. I think I went to about 4 castings. They kept on calling me back, and they kept on saying, there's something about you that is very true. But the thing that was about me that was very true was I could have been Miriam. Miriam is a woman that never got to be a medical doctor. Who would have wanted to be a medical doctor? And I got to do the campaign, and it got filmed. It was an advert that was aired in over 30 countries around the world in cinemas. And I did the campaign, and I was proud that at least I'm being a voice to some child out there who could possibly die. So if we help children get food and not die, I'm doing a good thing. For me, that was the thing for me at the time. And then shortly after we filmed the campaign, the ad, I got a call to say that it had gone to the Cannes Film Festival. Now, I'm not very up-to-date with what's going on in the world film-wise. And I was like, what's the Cannes Film Festival? And they explained to me what it was, and they said that Facebook and the Cinema Advertising Association want to take it on and sponsor it all around the world. Would I be happy to come and emphasize the importance of lost potential around the world as we launch this campaign? At that point, I had just gotten my dream job as a business analyst, very well paying. I have never been paid like that in my life, and I had worked very hard to get there. And I was in a place where I was thinking, do I leave this job that gives me a secure and almost definite way forward, or do I take the 6 months contract, basically, and make an impact in the world, because this is what I'm about? It was a tough decision to make, but I ended up following my passion, and I love what I do. I love my professional job. But then I thought, I will probably never get another opportunity such as this to impact and to save another life. My philosophy is every child is your child, and if you can save one, maybe you would be like the man who saved mine. So I went in and took this World Food Programme campaign, and then that is how World Food Programme ties into child sacrifice. Now I'm going to talk to you about child sacrifice and how I started child sacrifice. I've already given you the background, that I was abducted and possibly could have been sacrificed as a child. Child sacrifice in Uganda is where witch doctors, ritualists, not the whole of Uganda doesn't believe in witchcraft. Can I say the whole of Africa doesn't believe in witchcraft? But there's some people that like it. We have different religions there. Some people are spiritualists, traditional healers, and some of them are the witch doctors. Now, the witch doctors believe that human blood and tissue mixed with whatever it is that they do, I don't know if it's herbs, gives their ancestors more powers to perform. And the target of where they draw blood or human tissue are children. We as adults know it, children don't know it. So I thought, how do we help these children if they don't know what's going on, if they don't know what traps are laid ahead of them? In Uganda, children are not taken to school by parents, not most of them, maybe the privileged ones. So in the villages especially, a child could walk maybe up to 5 kilometers to school. A child under 7 could walk up to 5 kilometers to school and come back on their own. So there's no monitoring and supervision on the way. That's where the traps are laid for them to be captured and kidnapped and possibly killed. In 2004, I think, to 2014, that's 10 years, right? There was over 87. Remember, every time the government announces something, you have to either triple or double the number that they give you. So if they say 87 children are affected, multiply that because they're not saying something else. So they say that 87 children were kidnapped and killed as under child sacrifice. Only 26 cases went to high court. Only 10 around that time were prosecuted. So what happened to the rest? And those are only numbers of people who have enough money to take these cases to court. So that means there's a big gap. I wanted to find out what's the gap between what we're being told and what is out there. Because my parents possibly had some money to go and announce me on the radios, because imagine putting an ad of your missing child on radio or TV, you will have to pay for it. But how many parents in a country like mine survive on maybe $1 or $2 a day? The child's going to get missing, they'll try and search for the child, and if they can't find the child, they'll leave it. And that child will never be known by the authorities or any statistical or children organization. So I decided to to go to different schools in Uganda. Every year I would take a month off, which is my annual leave, and I would go to Uganda and spend that whole month going through schools using the Miss Uganda UK platform. Because when children see a beauty queen, they want to hear what do they have to say. So I decided I was going to use the crown as a beauty queen to go into schools and ask for permission and say, I want to talk to your children about being abducted and about child sacrifice. And that went so well. And when that plan worked, Miss Uganda UK said to me that we would still want to work with you. So every time someone wins the pageant, if they're happy to come with you, would you allow for them to work and be the ambassador for the campaign? I said, of course. So from 2012 until now, we're still doing that. And it has been a success, I must say. So what we do is, I decided to introduce an art and writing challenge. And what is an art and writing challenge? An art and write, I was thinking, what way can we interact with children on their basic level? Let's not bring another subject to add to their list. Because then it would be boring and they probably won't take in the information. And I needed them to take the information in instantly because every day was a risk for them, however much they didn't realize. So I thought an art and writing challenge would be the best way to engage with children. The art and writing challenge, children write poems if they want to. They write personal compositions. Also, they're given an opportunity to write their own experiences, something that had never happened before in Uganda. We don't come to class. Children basically don't have much to say. It's only the adults that have things to say. Children get told, and they listen and they do. So this time, I wanted children to champion their own cause. And that's what we did with the art and writing challenge. So before I go to Uganda, I contact about 30 schools, and I send an art and writing challenge to say children should express their views about child sacrifice. I ask the teachers not to intervene at all, because then we get to know what knowledge do they have and what's the gap in the knowledge. So children write, some of them act and do little skits, and some of them sing songs, compose songs. Some of them I allow them to do as many things as they can under a limited time, to portray their knowledge about child sacrifice. And what we do is award every child that participates with a certificate. Every time we give a child a certificate, it is a motivation to say that you are spearheading the end to child sacrifice in your country. So we're not waiting for you to grow to be relevant. What we're saying is you're relevant even now in the fight. We're giving them the power through the Art and Writing Challenge. And it has proved to be a success. We've reached over, just me and a few people that have joined me on the campaign, have reached over 30,000 children. 30,345 children we have reached. And this is just a small number. And this is to say that you might not know how to start, but if you have the smallest inkling of what idea you have, put it on the ground and start running, because 30,000 children against 0 children, I think, is a win for me, and I'm glad, because one man did save one me, and I think the knowledge that I've taken to over 30,000 children is a success. Uganda has 8 million children in primary schools. My aim is to reach every primary school child with this campaign, and I'm hoping that it will be going on continually in all the schools so it doesn't stop, because this is something that affects them. And listening to Sarah, I've learned a lot of ideas of how we can keep the conversation going and the information floating for people to see it 7 times for it to stick, because it has to stick. I'm having a baby girl, and I cannot imagine even leaving her in the next room, because I fear that what if I go there and someone has entered the house and gone out with her, or, abducted her and stuff like that. So it's that kind of fear that we have tried to put at bay with the End Child Sacrifice campaign. I think I'm going on for too long. Yeah, I'm rounding up. So thank you for bearing with me. But I just want to say the things I have learned and the lessons I've learned in a nutshell are: start small rather than not start at all. If you have a passion, don't quit your day job to pursue it. Pursue your day job. You're still young while you pursue your passion. If things align eventually, then good, but don't go under the broad of this is my passion, because your passion could be so strong that it makes you blind about everything else that's around you. And also, I believe that every child is your child. If there's anything you can do to save a child especially, give them the chance and the opportunity you have had. Maybe they'll use it better than you have, or they would save your children's lives in the future, because you're not going to be everything. You're not going to be the doctor, the engineer, and everything to them. And I would lastly want to thank my mum for coming with me, and I would like to thank Jack for inviting me, and I would like to thank you for listening, because now I've got another audience that has heard about child sacrifice. Thank you very much.